Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Since I've been suffering from a root canal treatment, which is still ongoing, and you can see my face slightly swollen, I thought I'll pull Anand in to help me do the video today. And we have a few things to discuss when it comes to what's happening globally and what's happening in India, and some stock specific questions. Before I get into diving into that, I briefly wanted to ask Anand, what do you think is happening in the stock market? Yesterday we saw the FIs really withdrawing, and now Trump is talking about tariffs again, and he's saber rattling 10% on China, and he is saber rattling a lot more on Canada and Mexico. Canada is saying they're going to do reciprocate these favors which they're dealing out.
There is total confusion, and he has not spelt it out. So if only over the days will the news come. And he's talking about 100% tax on BRICS nations, and India is in the BRICS nations. But what is very clear is his very strong stance on immigration. As a peace gesture, the Indian government has agreed to take back 18,000 Indians who are in US, and he is going to make it very difficult for H1B. And the H1B guys who are there are going to find it very difficult to get green cards. And if your child is not born, if you go and produce a child in America, it was an automatic citizenship. Now there is no guarantee. So this is the nutshell. The immigration policy will hurt Indians more than the actual other policies. On taxes, in America is the one of the very few places in the world with which we are running a trade surplus. So if you cut tariffs, you will get bikes like Harley Davidson for next to nothing on taxes. But at the same time, your exports will also increase. But there will be an enormous pressure on the Indian rupee. So what is going to happen, we do not know. There's a lot of negotiations. More or less, he is going to be disruptive. He is going to be isolationist in the sense that he is saying he is going to make America great again at the cost of the rest of the world. He says it's your responsibility to make America great again. So the last time an American president spoke like this and isolated America from the rest of the world was in 1897 to 1901 when there was a president called Mackenzie. So this is going to continue. There is going to be saber rattling for 4 years. And this is only day 2 or day 3. And this is going to continue. So you are going to have wild swings. Morning he will say one thing, the market will go up. Next day evening he will say one thing, the market will come down. This is in the short term. Overall, what will make difference is valuations will make difference. This means that the world is not going to return to cheap interest rates in the next 4 years.
No.
This means that there is not going to be big money for the startups. A lot of startups will sink. That will mean a lot of unemployment. The IT companies will be under perpetual pressure. I think they will survive. They'll do well. But they will be under perpetual pressure because they won't get H1B visas. The smaller IT companies will suffer more than the large ones. Companies which have global presence will survive.
But my question is, companies like Amazon, Apple, all of them over there require people, programmers and everything. They're all migrants. I mean, how are they going to manage to fill those slots? Because the Americans right now, there are not enough of them trained to do this work.
They will do it remotely. So more jobs will get exported outside.
Okay.
There is a lot of high-end connections going there. There is nothing which says all the jobs have to be in America. If you're going to make it difficult, you recreate Amazon and others will slowly, through the back of the envelope, start working, making.
But this is going to fuel inflation in the US. All this is going to fuel inflation.
Yeah, but there is a old Keynes statement which says that all mad men are slaves of some different economist. So some economists have this theory that if you put tariffs and all that, magically things will become all right. All this will do is improve fuel inflation, higher interest rates, and a stronger dollar for some time.
Okay, but this I understand in the software sphere. Indian IT companies, okay, maybe more work will get remotely shipped here and they'll mitigate this kind of a problem with H1B like this. But other sectors like pharmaceuticals, what are they going to do? Because you cannot push pharma out.
He has not talked about pharma at all. Has he said anything about pharma?
No, he has not said anything. But
He wants cheap
if he wants to
drugs.
slap tariffs in India, 100% BRICS countries want to tariff.
Boss.
India's biggest export to US is pharma, other than IT, of course.
Yeah, so he will not do anything to pharma because he needs cheap drugs. His base is poor. So he will not touch drugs.
You don't think he's going to?
I don't think it will happen. Much will happen.
Because absolutely
there is a lot of noise and very little action.
Okay.
And markets will listen to noise.
True.
And the markets are overdue for a correction. So this will be an excuse to correct. In the name of Trump, there will be a correction. You have valuations at 60 times, 70 times earnings.
No, even 100 times. Trent is still sitting above 100 and people are talking, asking me, it's corrected by 30%. Shall we look at Trent? I'm like, are you crazy?
Are you crazy? So there is definitely going to be a lot of more correction. So you have to just wait and watch, be patient.
Okay. Now coming to Indian shores, Indian scenario. This is all outside India. What's going to influence us in terms of companies exporting in India? Internally inside India, the way you spoke about budget in the last video, saying there's little that can help us by doing income tax rejigging. There is stocks that the government is going to try and stimulate in industrial level. I mean,
last time, before the budget, a lot of Andhra Pradesh stocks went up through the roof, thinking Chandrababu Naidu is going to get something big. 6 months down the line, you check what happened to those Andhra stocks.
Yes, I agree.
So people believe that magic solution is budget. Then there is no point studying value investing.
Correct. That I do agree. A lot of people, our viewers, have been misunderstanding what value investing is. Case in point, I spoke to one of our members in our group, that he's been watching you and following you in Tiffin Coffee range investing. And since the beginning of the year, he's dropped almost 40 to 50 lakhs in the market, saying it's Tiffin Coffee.
No, it's not Tiffin Coffee.
Yeah, I want you to explain to people.
Tiffin Coffee is less than 5,000 rupees at that time.
Correct. And the reason why you would say Tiffin Coffee is why?
Because you won't feel the pressure. The guy who's dropped 50 lakhs will be down substantially.
Correct.
If he has bought my stocks, he will recover.
Yeah.
But the pain of seeing it there is hurting.
Correct.
Whereas if 5,000 is up, what you can afford to lose, you won't worry about markets. I have not seen the markets for a long time. I have not opened my screen during all this correction. I have not opened my screen. True. In fact, I have not opened my screen for 60 days, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a fundamental mistake a lot of you make, because we say Natco is at value, and you see Natco, let's say 1,350, and you decide to put 10 lakhs into Natco immediately, saying, okay, it is PE low, and you don't think about it, and you say, okay, I just put 10 lakhs because I have 10 lakhs and it's on value. Today, Natco is trading at 1,200 odd. You're already minus so many lakhs. Because simple reason, the market will move. Natco is still at value. Natco is not a bad company. It's still at buying range. But the problem is, since you threw in a huge amount of cash at one shot in the beginning of the year, now you'll see it sitting at such a negative position. It's very hard to reconcile to yourself to enter the market again, is what Anand is saying. Because what
markets are 99% psychology and 1% finance.
Correct.
So you should learn to know yourself.
Yes.
It is greed and FOMO that made you put that kind of money in a single stock.
Correct.
Don't do it.
And in this current environment, like what Anand just laid out, in the foreseeable future, at least end of this year, we are going to see more and more swings happening till people start settling down to some kind of working relationship with US and Trump. We are all going to be trying to figure this out. Till that point, you're going to see markets swinging wildly, the Indian rupee depreciating and the dollar strengthening. And all this is going to lead to more confusion and the FIIs and FPIs pulling out of money in India. And our domestic investors can't really support this too much because our earnings for our mutual funds will start taking a hit. So if you look at it all, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to see in the market.
In dollar terms, let me conclude this. The S&P 500 is up 25%. In equal weighted index, the S&P 500 is above 15%. In dollar terms, the Indian stock market is up 2%. And there is talk of depreciation of the rupee. And if the rupee depreciates and goes to 93, 94, if you're a foreigner, why will you do this? You just sit out and buy it when you reach 95. You don't have any issue. Correct. The US stock markets are performing. In dollar terms, Indian stock markets have not performed. Even in rupee terms, you're at about 7-8% up. Correct. So it doesn't make sense. So be very careful in what you're doing.
Correct.
and don't put huge sums of money to it. Thank you for watching Be Rich. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, kindly hit the subscribe button of the channel, like the video, send this video to your friends and relatives, and have them take a look. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich.
Thank you.
Hey guys, that my uncles Vinod Srinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it, and we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu, and these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.